According to the AAA Foundation of Traffic Safety, in a research study that they conducted in 2000 called Unlicensed to Kill, 1 in 5 fatal car crashes involved an unlicensed driver. As the usage of motor vehicles increases and the population of undocumented immigrants in the U.S. continues to grow, we can expect that this number will only increase. Today I will be discussing the problem that results from having unlicensed drivers in Texas, the solution to making Texas roads safer, and the benefits of allowing undocumented immigrants to get driver's licenses. To begin, unlicensed drivers pose a serious hazard to Texas road safety. When a driver is undocumented, it can be assumed that they are not really informed on the road signs and how to interpret them and how to practice safe driving. According to U.S. claims, accidents with unlicensed drivers cause more than 8,000 deaths in the nation every year. Today, motor vehicle accidents are becoming a top cause of death within the nation and even globally as more and more people start to practice or use motor vehicles. While the demographics of these uninsured and unlicensed motorists varies, it is known that a considerable portion of the population is comprised of undocumented immigrants. The Pew Research Center estimates that there are more than 11 million undocumented immigrants in the U.S. So if there are this many undocumented immigrants in the U.S., we can expect that there are millions of undocumented and unlicensed drivers in the U.S. as well. These immigrant populations make up a large portion of the working class in the nation. So along with making finding a job easier, allowing these immigrants to get a license would make their daily commutes safer as well. Because we can assume that they're not stopping, they're working, they're continuing to work, they're just doing it without a license and commuting every single day without this license. I've just discussed the problem of having unlicensed drivers within the nation and in the state of Texas, and now I will discuss the solution to this problem. To resolve the issue of this extremely large number of unlicensed drivers in the U.S., I propose that undocumented immigrants should be allowed to get licensed. Legislation of this kind has been enacted in several states across the United States. For years, immigrant activists have fought for the rights of immigrants, and many of these struggles have finally come to fruition. While many doubt that the legislation of this kind and reforming license programs will make a difference, it is shown that it can make a significant difference. For example, in New York, who just a few months ago finally passed their green light legislation that allowed immigrants within the state to get a license, long lines could be observed within the first day that this legislation was passed, according to the New York Times. So even within the first day, we saw tremendous amount of people at these licensed places, and so we can expect that over time more and more people will come forward and become licensed and become safer drivers. Interviews of citizens within these long lines by the New York Times revealed that apart from serving as a pass for them to be able to drive in the city, having a license would open many more doors for them. One of those being just the ability to get a job. Without a basic form of identification, a lot of people can't get a job. So we can expect that legislation of this kind and programs of this kind within the state of Texas would also encourage a lot of people to get licensed, because not only would it allow them to drive, it would help them get jobs as well. Now that I have discussed the solution to the problem of unlicensed drivers, I will talk about the benefits of allowing undocumented immigrants to get licensed. The greatest benefit of legislation of this kind would be safer roads. There is no doubt that there are undocumented motorists in the state of Texas, like We know this for sure. But there is a ton of doubt about what these motorists know when it comes to driving. Do they know how to interpret road signs? Do they know how to practice safe driving? By requiring that the maximum amount of people undergo written exams, driving exams, and vision exams, we can make sure that drivers are being safe within the state. According to NPR, Connecticut, one of the first states to approve legislation of this kind, allowing their undocumented immigrants to get licensed, there was an observed 9% drop in hit-and-run crashes within the whole state. And this was observed after only 2 years of legislation being in place. So we can see that the benefits to license programs of this kind are almost immediate. By equipping their motorists with licenses, fewer people will be inclined to flee a scene when involved in a car accident. Other benefits to allowing immigrants to get licensed are economic. According to the Connecticut Department of Motor Vehicles, Connecticut made $7.5 million in revenue since they enacted their new license program. So it only cost them considerably less than this to enact the program, but the revenues were astronomical. Along with this, businesses that offer driving assistance in languages other than English experience a boost in business as well. Given that the immigration population in Texas is largely Hispanic, we would expect revenues of this kind, and businesses who offer driving assistance and driving schools that offer services in Spanish would also be in high demand following a change in our license program in the state. Today I discussed the problem of having unlicensed drivers within the state of Texas and the solution to decreasing the number of unlicensed drivers in the nation and within the state of Texas. I have also discussed the benefits of passing legislation of this kind, which were safer roads, because we can make sure that drivers understand road safety signs, and also economic revenues. To make a difference and to join the efforts of immigrant activists in allowing immigrants to get licensed, you can visit house.texas.gov and find your local representative within Texas. Sending an email or a letter to your representative communicates your stance on this highly debated issue within the state of Texas. After becoming aware of your stance on this issue, your representative can then move to propose a bill to the state legislature. Your letter can make a difference. Thank you.